With politicians back from their winter break, it was a packed audience in the House of Commons to hear the Prime Minister speak on Britain's position in the world economy, his government's efforts to deal with rising fuel prices and of possible fuel alternatives for the future.
Is the Minister aware?
I believe that as we face these uncertain global times, when there are difficulties that have started in America which affect the whole of the world economy, it is important to remember that what makes us well placed to face these difficulties are the low inflation we've achieved in this country, the very high levels of employment we've achieved, and of course the low interest rates which stand us in good stead for facing the global uncertainties. And of course I'll be happy to meet my honourable friend and his colleagues to talk about these issues.
He also referred back to his days as Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Mr. Speaker, when I arrived at the Treasury, I was told that because inflation was rising and as a result of the failure of the previous Conservative government to increase interest rates had to rise. That was the first statement made to me at the Treasury. That's why we made the Bank of England independent, opposed by the party opposite, and that's why, as a result of our actions, interest rates are half what they were under the Conservative government on average, inflation is half what it was, and employment is at a record level, and we are proud of our record as a Labour government.
The Prime Minister then turned to winter fuel costs and the issue of rising prices.
Yes, it is regrettable that utility prices are having to rise. That's as a result of a 60% to 80% rise in coal, in gas, in electricity. That's a result of factors that are hitting every economy in the world. But what we have done in Britain over the last few years is there has been £12 billion devoted to fuel poverty issues. The winter allowance, which I think his party didn't support, the allowances that we are giving to help with energy bills. Companies have announced only in the last few days that the amounts of money will rise from 40 million to 56 million to protect energy users, and we will do everything in our power to avoid fuel poverty in this country.
He then went on to outline alternative energy options.
Mr. Speaker, we face a major decision in this country about the future of energy, and tomorrow the Secretary of State for the Department of Business will make a statement on energy and also on nuclear power. And I hope we will be able to have a decision about this that will protect the long-term interests of the country. And without a decision on this and on renewable fuels, then we will become more dependent on foreign sources of supply. Therefore, it is a shock to me that the other parties are looking in different directions on this issue. I know that the Leader of the Opposition wants to be consistent in what he says, but he said to the CBI he wanted to make it easier for people to build fuel stations. And then he said to the readers of Green Futures magazine, if we have to keep the lights on, then nuclear might come into the picture. Nuclear as a last resort. That is not the proper way to plan the energy needs of our country.
A busy question time, the first of 2008.